All right, so we've done the first two parts, which is the design. Now, to make this program meaningful, we have to make it we have to program it, to do something with it. Okay. Just to review what we've done, we have 3 text boxes, and text boxes are used to enter data. And the names of these text boxes is text width, then text length, and then text price. And here I have 2 labels for the result. One is called LBL area, and one of them is LBL room cost. So how do we enter code? So when we click on this button area, we wanted to do something. First, we need to give it a name. Instead of just button 1, we need to call it BTN area. All right? BTN area. So I know which button I'm working with. And then this one, we need to change it to BTN cost. And then the last one is BTN clear. All right? Now, in the area button, when we double click on it, it will take me to a place where I enter the code. Yeah. All right. So to enter the code for that button, the area, all I need to do is double click on this button, and it'll take me to a place where I enter my code. I don't need this for now, so I'm gonna auto hide it. So they're here still. I didn't close them. They're still here, but I can get them when I want them. And same thing in here. Now notice here I have 2 tabs on top. One for the design and one for the code. If I want to go back to the design, all I have to do is I click on this, it'll take me back to the design. If I want to go back to the code, all I do is I click on the code and then I'm there. Do you remember what did we call this one? BTN area. So if I double click on it, notice you have a method here. This is called a method or a function. This method does what? It says private void button area click. So when you click on that particular button, you do this. What do we want to do inside this method? We want to calculate the area. Yeah? Now to calculate the area, we need to define the variables like we did before. We need 3 variables. We need one for the length, we want one for the width, and then we want one for the area. All of them I'm going to define them as integer. Okay? So how do we define the 3 variables? So you can say int width, comma, length, and then comma, area. Now why did I put them all on the same line? Because they're all the same type. They're all integer. So it doesn't matter. I don't have to separate them. You can still do them on separate line, but this is a shortcut. Notice the green line underneath it. The green line means that you're defining a variable that you haven't used yet. It's just a warning. It means you're taking memory, because remember, when you define a variable, you're taking memory away from the computer. You're taking memory, but you're not using it, so you're wasting your memory. That's why it's saying it's a green. Once you use it, that green line disappears. So first, we need to get the width type. Where does the width come from? Okay, where does the width come from? In the past, we used to say, for example, width equal 5, right? But here, we don't want to make it equal 5. I'll do it this way first, then I'll go back and change it. So we used to say width equal 5, then length equals some value, let's say 6, all right? Then the area used to be like this, area equal length times width. And then we display the result. Now, to display the result, we used to say console dot write line and then put the variables, right? Now here we don't have the console dot write line. Where does the result need to appear? In this one here, right? What's the name of this? LBL area. طيب. How do we change? Remember, how did we change these things to say room area? We change a property, right? What was the property that we changed? What was the name of the property? Text. صح ولا لا? Right? When we change these, we change the text property. Same thing in here. If I want to change the value of this, I have to change the property text for that label. So the difference is we don't do it here, we do it inside the program. So if I go back to my button, if I want to display a value in that label, all I need to do is that say LBL area. Now I need to put it in the text property, because the LBL area is the name of the object or the label, the whole thing, the fonts and everything. But if I want to change the value, I will change which property? The text value. So if I say lbl.text, now I can make it equal something. Now I'm not going to put it into the I'm not going to put the area first, but well, just go ahead and put the area. Do you remember area? Now area is a number. You remember area is a number, right? I have a text. I want to put a number inside the text. You can convert the number into a text. Do you remember what we used to format the text? Okay, I'll review with you. If you type in 2, if you type in the dot, and then I have something called toString. This was in chapter 2, on page 81 or 80. Okay, not 81, sorry, 61 or 60, to change the formatting. Now, if I hit this, notice I can put whatever format I want. So, and the format we use to format numbers. Okay? So, what this does, it says, I want to change the label value, which is the label, what is the name of the label? Label area. And to change the value, we have to use the property text. So when you click on the dot, it'll give you the property text, the option. Equal the area, the calculated result area, and then I convert it or format it into the format that I want, which is what? toString n for numbers. It will put commas between 1,000 notations. Okay. Now if I run it, let's see what happens. Here's my form. Now if I click on area, it will give me the result, right? Every time I click on area, it will give me the same result. But we don't want it to do that. What do we want it to do? We want to take whatever the value from here, right? We need to take whatever the value that the user entered and then do the calculation. So what do you think we should do? Let's close this and go back to the program. So instead of this, what should we put in here? The text width, right? Dot what? Text, right? Do you remember that? Okay. Here I have, if you go back in here, this is a text box, right? What's the name of it? What's the name of that? TXT width. If I want to get the value in that text box, which property I have to use? Again, I have to use the text property. Yani, this text box has a property called text. So if you go back here, do you see that? It says a property called text. Now, if I put anything in here, it will appear there. Okay? You see that? So it appeared in here. So if I want to get the value from this text box, I have to use the name of the text box dot text. You got the idea? So now if I go back in here and type in, instead of this, I can say what? TXT width dot text. Yeah? طيب. There's a problem here. We can try it to see if it works, but there's a problem. It gives me a red line. Yeah? What does the problem say? It says text box error cannot implicitly convert to string to integer. Yani, what is the problem? It's saying you have a text here, right? This could be number A, B, C, D, whatever. It's a text value. It's saying the width is an integer and this is a string. You cannot put directly a string into an integer. You have to convert it. And to convert it, in your handout on page 81, there is a table to show you how to convert from a string to a number. So how do I convert this value from a text to a number? Because at the end, it has to be stored into a number. We can use something like this. We can say convert dot. When you hit convert dot, you have options. One of the options, it is, for if you type in 2, you have to integer 32, integer 16, and integer 64. I use integer 32 every time I wanted to convert to an integer. What does that do? Now it takes whatever value you put between the brackets and change it to a number before you store it into the integer value. So it will be happy. Okay? So I have to select this. And then now I can put bracket here, and it will not complain. You got the idea? So I take the value from the text box, and it is a string. It could have numbers, it could have alphabets, whatever it is. And then I use this function called convert to int132 to convert it to a number in order to do calculations on it. So I convert it to a number, then I store it into the variable width. What do you think we have to do with the other one? نفس الشيء, same thing, right? بدل هيك شو بنعمل? Convert to int32 txt. بدل الwidth, what do we use? Length. Then dot text. All right. Do we need to change anything with these two, the bottom ones? Do we need to change do we need to change the equation? Do we need to change the output? No. The only difference now, instead of every time it is 5 times 6, it's whatever the user enter in those text boxes. And let's try it and see if it works. So now if I run it, if I type in, now if you don't type in anything and you try to click on the button, you will get an error. It's okay, don't worry about that. I'll show you how to avoid this error later on. But if I type in 11 and I type in 10, and then I click on the area, it will give me 110. This is more useful, right? Because it depends on, not all the rooms are the same sizes. You have different sizes, different customers, they come with different needs, right? If I type in here 1000 or 1234, whatever value, and I click on the area, it will give me the value. And notice it put the commas in place. Why does it put the commas in place? Because we use toString format, right? We formatted the output. All right? So go ahead and try it, okay? I'll put it on pause. All right. Now, the last part is that to program the cost area, the room carpeting cost. So we go back to the design, and then we double click on the room cost. By the way, some of you have problems. When you run your form, watch. When you run your form, and then you try to click on the area without entering anything, your program will crash. Notice what will happen. Watch. If I click on this, because it says you're trying to convert nothing into a number, you cannot do that. Or you're trying to convert letters into a number, you cannot do that. So it'll give you this error, okay? Input string was not correct format. Now, how do I get out of this? To get out of this, you need to stop your program. The way you stop your program, do you see this button here? Stop debugging. Or you can go into debug and stop debugging from here. Okay? Now you can get out of it. So for now, you make sure that you enter numbers in those fields only. All right, now let's go and do the last part. You double click on the room cost. I'm going to do this little quickly because we've done that in the first part. So I need to define my variables. Again, I need to define int or I can just copy him from above. Int width, comma, length. Okay. Then I need to define my price per square foot and my total cost. How do I define my price per square foot and total cost? Are they integer or double? Double. Why are they double? Because it can cost you $1.50 or a dirham 50, whatever it is, right? So I need to define my double price. Let's just call it price for now. And room cost. Okay. So now we have the variables that I need. The length, the width, and the price, and the room cost. Then I need to do the same thing that I've done before, which is convert the width and the length to numbers. So I'm just going to copy them from here, control copy, and then put them in here. Okay. In addition to that, I need to do what? I need to convert the price, right? Because to calculate the total cost, the room cost, I need the length, the width, and then the price. Right? So what is the price? So I can say price equal to what? Equal convert. Now what do we convert to? Do we convert to double or to integer here? Double. Why to double? Because the price can have decimal in it. So I select convert to double here. Alright? Not to the integer, to double. Then I need to give it the field or the text box that has the value. Which text box has the price? TXT. And then I have a control.txt price. Then we use the text property to get the value. Alright? So now I converted my three values, the text, the width, the length, and then the price. Now I can do my calculation. Because I put the values in the variables, I can do my calculation. The calculation goes like this. The room cost is equal the width times the length times the price. So I can say room cost equal length times width times room cost. No, sorry, price. Okay. After this, I just need to display the result. And the result goes where? In which label it goes into what? LBL room cost. So I'll say LBL room cost dot text, like what we've done before, equal to what? Equal to the variable that contains the room cost, which is room cost, and then we convert it to a string. We format it. Now here, what format do we use? Because it is the currency, I use C, not N. Remember, N just for general numbers, but C for currency, like the dollars or the dirhams, depending on your system setting. Okay? Now, if I run my program, it will take the values that you enter, it will calculate, multiply them together, store them in the room cost, and then display the result into that last result, which is label room.text. Okay, I'll run it, because I have 1 minute left. I'll run it and I'll show you the result. So if I type in 34, and then I'll type in here 100, and then I type here 1.5 for the price per square foot, and then if I click on the area, it will give me the area. If I click on the room cost, it will give me the room cost in dollars. Now the last part, the clear. Okay? Alright, we'll stop for this. The clear is, I'll just do the clear quickly. It takes only 1 minute, okay? And then at least you'll have it. You go to the design, you double click on the clear. How do you clear the labels? You say LBL, for example, area, dot text, and then you make it equal to nothing. This will clear it. lbl room cost dot text. This is how you do the clear. Okay, lbl room cost dot text equal again to nothing. Okay, now this means it will clear it. All right. Now if you run it, if you enter some values here, you click on area, you click on room cost, you click on clear, it will clear the last two values. Okay, area, room, clear. All right, I'll stop the video, but I'll leave the code up so you can see it. Okay, so we're gonna stop. We're done with this chapter 3. Okay.